However, I will talk about the okra just a second. So down here, when I started planting, I had them on, I think, 9-inch spacings, and it's pretty tight compared to where I went to 1-foot spacings. And I'm still not sure. Okra is probably my favorite crop. Hey everybody. Well, today I want to talk to you a little bit about my favorite plant, okra, because it won't be long before I take this out. Now, the okra loves the really hot weather, humid weather, and it seems to actually take drought. It seems to like a little bit of drought better than any plant that I've grown. And it will bear all the way up to frost. It'll produce maybe even past the first few frosties, but I'm shooting for a high production in these beds, so I kind of want to get this stuff out as soon as it slows down and get something else in there that's going to appreciate this cool weather. And I realize that I talk about okra a lot, and a lot of my viewers, a lot of you guys are from the South, I think, and you know what okra is, and you appreciate it for Southern culture. So if you're watching, tell me how I do on this. But I know a lot of you guys are from further north in places where okra just simply won't grow, and I just want to talk about it a little bit because it is such a favorite subject of mine. Let's just look at the plant from the ground up. They have pretty thick stalks, especially with these heirloom varieties. You can see this one, and I try to keep it at one single stalk. Now I will say that these plants, as they get older and further into production, they don't look that good. They look nappy. The leaves are usually, there's usually not a lot of leaves on them actually, and they get really nappy looking, but it doesn't seem to hurt the production. And you can see just how tall. So I have the single stalk, and the fruit that it bears will always be at the top. You pick it as it goes, and this is probably about a 9-foot tall plant here, but see that? Pull it off, and there you go. There's the okra pod, but you can see that it's producing from the top, and you can see the beautiful little yellow flowers that it has. Actually pretty big. Pollinators love these. So yeah, just 1 pod per day about on these plants, and it's going to be at the top of the plant. Here's one that's even taller. And so these pods that you're picking off of the okra, the part that you eat, all these are a seed pod, and you're picking them immature. The seeds will be white, and I'm going to take these in a minute. We'll probably cook a little bit of it, but I want to cut one apart and let you see it close up. Okra is believed to come from Africa, and they believe that it grew wild on the banks of the Nile River, and that's a really interesting thought. I'd like to see what the land race of this plant looks like, if it even still exists. So even more amazing is how the plant made it to this country. So during the days of colonization, when settlers were just coming to North America, before United States was even a country, the African slave trade began, and they were taking innocent people captive, carrying them across the ocean against their will, and selling them as if they were property to be sold. And these people, they faced really bad conditions. We probably don't even know how bad. I don't know if the history does that justice, but they came with almost no material possessions. Probably the clothes that they had on their back was it. And it's believed that they smuggled the seeds with them. Now think about that a minute. These people were stole from their homeland, no possessions, and the one thing or things that they fought to bring were seeds to their crops. Now, okra wasn't the only crop, but this, what I'm holding in my hand, may have been the only possessions that an African slave brought with them to this country. So just to state the obvious, these people placed a lot of value in these plants, their seeds, their agriculture, and that was only part of their homeland that they were able to bring with them. So terrible part of our history, I do think it deserves mentioning. And with that, I kind of want to get more into the crop itself and the seed pods. Now, where I'm from in Alabama, and I'll just say that tri-state area, Georgia, Tennessee, that part of the South, okra was probably most often fried. That's how I've seen it and ate it for years. That's how my grandmother cooked it. And that's kind of what I'm going to show you today, is sort of how she did it. I can't do justice to what she did, and she's recently passed away, so I'll just have to do the best I can without her. But they did cook it a lot of different ways. You can boil it. It's slimy. A lot of people don't like that. I do. And around the Louisiana, South Mississippi area, probably even up here in Arkansas, I have seen it here in Arkansas quite a bit, is okra was used for gumbo and jambalaya. I love that stuff. It's not really an Alabama thing, or North Alabama anyway, but if you ever get a chance and you're in the South and you get some jambalaya or gumbo, get that too. Fried okra is awesome. Maybe not that healthy fried, but this is not what this video is about. I just want to show you what okra is to me. Okay, we're in here close up now. Let's look at this stuff. First of all, pod size. Now, if I was selling this, and I intend to sometime, this would be the perfect size pod. It's pretty small. A lot of people say like your pinky finger. I have kind of long fingers, so a little bit longer than that, but you can see what I've got going there. So I have, and these pods are red. I've mentioned that before. It's red burgundy. I have one plant that came out to be all green, and this is your typical okra. It's typically green, but I like the red stuff just for fun, no other reason. Don't taste any different, and the red cooks out of it when you cook it. So yeah, that would be a little bigger than I'd want to sell, but for us it'll be just fine. So let's take a perfect pod and let's just see what this stuff looks like. So cut that off, throw it away, and to cook it I would be cutting it into pieces like that. So here you go. It's a seed pod, like I said. If you can see that, the little immature seeds in here. Okay. Alright, let's get this going right quick. Show you what I'm cooking with. Got a little bit of cornmeal, flour, salt and pepper, and I'm just going to mix that up. I want the salt and pepper in there to start with, and I've got my okra. So I'm going to dice some of this up, coat it in this, and throw it in the pan. And I need one more thing. I need to go get a hot pepper right quick. So I'm frying up some salted pork here, and I'll eat the salted pork. I love it, but I want that grease, bacon grease. That's what Granny preferred to use, and it tasted really good, so that's what we're using. Maybe not all that healthy, but you know, if you want to use something else, go for it. But this is how I'm doing it. Okay, I got this washed off, and it's wet still, so that'll help a little bit with the cornmeal sticking. Probably just put the cornmeal in here and kind of move it around. You can put it in a bag and shake it or whatever. I don't want to waste a bag. Didn't look like I mixed that up too good. It'll work. It will work. Now, if you buy okra at Cracker Barrel or one of the chain restaurants. It's pre-breaded and pre-froze, and it comes out in these perfect little pieces of okra with the nice little breading. This is not going to look like that, but it doesn't matter, it tastes great. So that'll do for now. Bacon is about done. Throw it in the grease and let's go with it. But first we gotta have the pepper. I'm using one of them chocolate habanero peppers. It's gonna be a little spicy, but I'll probably be the only one eating it, so it'll be fine. This is not how my grandmother always did it, but when I started having a lot of hot peppers in my garden, we started throwing one in there, and we really enjoyed it. I'm not so sure that my grandfather enjoyed it, but he ate it, so it was all good. Take the seeds out. Save yourself from a little bit of heat unless you want to bring the fire. Check it out, I got it done. Like I said, not all pretty and breaded up like the Cracker Barrel stuff, but this is what I grew up on. This is childhood memories on a plate for me. Really important, really special stuff to me. I'm gonna try a little with my hands, y'all don't judge. Not as good as grandmother's, but pretty good. Nice little kick with the habanero. You know, if you don't like spice, leave that out, but that's me. Okra, this is part of Southern cuisine, and not only that, all over the world, different parts of the world use it differently. Would love to hear from some of you guys if you want to mention something that I don't know about, or maybe I just didn't mention it here. Really great stuff. Hope y'all like that, and I think I'll let y'all go. Give me a thumbs up if you liked the video. Subscribe if you haven't already. Y'all be good. Bye.